What up, world? Welcome to Financial FinFly. My name is Fernando, and this is a journey through fire. Financial independence retired early, whenever that is. Sooner than better. Sooner than later. I am so psyched. I know you can't tell because I'm like fucking dying right now, but my video just got 3 likes. 3 whole likes on episode 2024. Let's go. All right, so what we're doing now is a weekly trading recap. We had 2 awesome trades this week. We'll go right on over to Robinhood right here. As you can see, the second trade was probably the best trade I've ever made in my life, just timing wise. But let's see, March 5th made $149, and then on the 7th made $220, both Tesla puts, and did pretty well. So I made this trading tracker here. This is how we're going to track our trades for the year. So far, 4 trades of 2024. First trade, rushed into it, lost $60. Second trade, really quick. I actually should have made like $2,000 on this thing. Ridiculous. Made $50. These 2 trades were actually very well executed. Not a whole lot of price action, but still able to squeeze out some profit from these 2 puts. As you can see, Tesla's been going down the whole year, so we're traded in the put territory recently, and we'll flash back up on the screen here. Weeble, right? So just zooming out to the daily. In the last month, from approximately late December, early January, we've just been in a landslide for Tesla stock, so we've been putting it up. That's what we've been doing. We have our trend lines here. You can see it's bouncing between these 2 trend lines. I drew these to coincide with the longer downtrends that we do see in Tesla stock. Zooming out here, even in the weekly, I shrunk these lines to give me a little bit more of an early indicator when we might be out of our bounds. And then we have kind of a support, an upward supporting trend line right here. But basically, we are putting it up with our Tesla puts. Now, that is going to change. I do expect a cycle shift, right? So we'll zoom back in here. If you can see, we have been bouncing between my 2 support resistance, retracing back to a support line, bouncing right off that and going back up to another resistance line. And then we're going to mean reversion probably back down a little bit. Our indicators are saying, to zoom in back out here, that we are at a turning point. If you can see right down here in our MACD, we just had a MACD crossover. We're still negative, but we should get into an upswing soon. So I'm expecting the price action to kind of go something like down like this. It's kind of bouncing back up and bottoming a little bit. But I do expect us to bounce right back up to around 240 within the next month or 6 weeks. So probably I'm eyeing some Tesla calls right now. Shifting back over to Robinhood, I am eyeing some Tesla calls, which are right here. I'm trading from the week out up until about a month out, 6 weeks. These month options, 35-day options, are a little bit pricier, but I am starting to be able to afford them. Less volatile, more tau with the Greek, so more time value with those, and they are an option, let's say. So getting back into our trading tracker here. So like I said, this is how we're going to be tracking our trades this year. And I'm doing some analytics on the side. So attention duration, this is how long I actually had to pay attention to the option to make this trade. The trade duration itself is how long the trade took to execute. So you can see here I'm averaging, this is the real time rate, so around $90 an hour, which is pretty great, but that's going to get up to several thousand an hour potentially. Well, it has to if I want to ever quit my job. And then the trade duration, higher because obviously I'm spending less time during the actual trade, and it's more attention before and after versus the actual trade, which could be only a couple minutes. And as we start buying more longer calls and puts and longer options in general with more capital from our gains that we're making, that hourly rate may or may not go up. It'll probably go down as we're in the trade longer with the more time value. Anyway, so just some more analytics here. So the average profit per return. And we'll do a deep dive into the sheet on the math of how it all works, and maybe give you guys access to it in a Patreon or something. Let me know if you guys would find this useful if I drop this in somewhere for you guys to use. But average profit per trade minus 10%, 6%, 21%, 47%. So as you can see, it's on an uptrend. Definitely able to read my indicators much better these days. I executed this 220 trade like flawlessly, like fucking flawlessly. I saw the 10-minute interval Bollinger just expanding out to the 15, the 30, the 2 hour, the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, and I just had to make the trade. I did it successfully, and as you can see here, oops, this is just Tesla stock. This is my so now back to my portfolio. Bam, right? So there's not even like a little bit of a down dip here. If you zoom in, you can kind of see it went down and then up and then a little bit down before it leveled off. Almost imperceptible right now, but as you can see here, I just went straight up vertical with no down dip and straight horizontal with no down dip. So I basically timed the bottom and the top of the option perfectly. Mind you, this was down on the day. This option was one of the 180 strike, this guy, right? So it's a 180 strike with the 2/9 expiration date, just expired today. I got in at 115, got out at 170, but this option itself was down like 70% in the day, and then I bought it at like down 60%, I sold it at down 30%, and then it went back down to like down 70%. So it just goes to show, as long as there's volatility and price action, all you have to do is get in front of that wave, get in front of the wave of money, capture that little bit, don't get greedy like this guy, and get the fuck out. Take your profits and get out and go for the next trade. Equally as important is don't force a trade. If you don't see the opportunity, if you don't have confirmation of that trade, just don't go for it. Like, that was my lesson this week as well. As well as making 2 very successful trades. I saw some very small opportunities that I would be able to take advantage of if I had more than 3 pattern day trades in a 5-day period in one account. Just one of the stupid pattern day trading rules to protect investors and maintain market stability and whatever. It's equally important to know what you don't know. If you don't have the strong indicators to confirm the price action that you're trading on, don't do it. Just don't do it. So it's really an exercise in patience, in self-control, in analytics, in restraint. Equally as important. So I didn't lose money. Equally as important as the money I made is the money that I didn't lose. Because as I've said before, I've lost, at this point, $100,000 fucking being an idiot and getting greedy trading and just not taking my profits and waiting. I just didn't want to wait. Just wait. It's much better. Just wait. All right. Where are we at these days? All right. So I think that's enough of a trading update. We're going to get into Elon time. Well, just Twitter. We'll just, what are we going to call this? The Twitterverse? We're going to get into the Twitterverse now. So just going to scroll Elon's profile and see what is happening. Well, first and foremost, X is the most #1 trafficked social media platform on the app stores globally right now. It's surpassing Meta and whatever other social media apps that Meta has, and Google. And yeah. So scrolling here now, Tucker Carlson gets canned from Fox News and opens his own network, the Tucker Carlson Network on X. This guy, whether you agree with his personal opinions or not, he is an NBA journalist. He is firing on all cylinders, and he's fucking just interviewed Vladimir Putin, one of the most powerful people on earth. Highly advise you to watch the interview. I sped through it, but I sped through this interview as my takeaways. Putin's brilliant. Tucker is an intent listener, asking good questions. But who blew up Nord Stream 2? Obviously the U.S. Obviously, look for the people who have the motivation and the capability. As I've been saying, Putin clearly agrees that it was the CIA, potentially whoever, what faction of whatever government. But we have infinite videos of people online saying that or our elected officials that we have time to stop Nord Stream 2. We have to stop it like right now. And it ends up blowing up. Clearly the US have the motive and capability. Putin went into roughly 30 minutes of 1,000 years of Russian history in the Baltics and just really set the stage for his perspective on the war. And basically it's like a mini civil war. I kind of didn't fully understand where he was trying to find the relevancy of everything that he was saying. But if you listen to it slowly and you have more of a knowledge and background into it, then you'll probably get it. What else? The election system, the electorate in the United States is broken. He's even saying who runs the country, right? Tucker's like, what do you think of the U.S. system and the American elected officials? And Putin flat out says, I don't fucking know. The U.S. has 50 different states all governing themselves. It doesn't seem like President Biden is doing anything, and he's definitely not in charge, and you have one agency overriding the other, and blah, 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 blah. So, yes, Putin, we have trouble too. Granted, this guy is a former spy. What did you call it? KGB. This guy, he's talking to a former, an ex-Fox News reporter, got canned from the most popular network, I think, at least in the U.S. for Fox News, and definitely the most right-wing. He gets canned. He goes to a platform bought by a billionaire who was forced to buy it after he didn't want to buy it, and then they didn't want to buy it, and they forced him to buy it. He goes on this platform. Now he's interviewing the most powerful person on earth who, hiding assets and whatever. They're not in Putin's name, but he's definitely one of the richest men on earth, talking to Tucker. So it's just like such an interesting thing. And okay, all right, enough on this. You guys watch it. It's pretty awesome. There's going to be more to come. There's going to be a lot more to come on X, as scrolling through Elon's feed will highlight. Improved community notes, yada, yada, yada. Year of the Dragon with a cool Tesla. Happy Chinese New Year. Happy Year of the Dragon, y'all. I missed my Vessi limited edition dragon shoes. I am so upset. If you have a size 10 for the red and gold Vessi Weekenders and you want to just send them to me, totally cool with that. DM me and get those to me. I'm so pissed I missed that. What else? America, Elon Musk coming from South Africa to America. Thank you, Elon, for saving humanity. This year, SpaceX Dragon Starship will take astronauts to the furthest they've been from Earth in half a century. This man is literally taking humans the farthest. Literally the farthest. Elon is the GOAT. All right, what else? Keep scrolling on X while using AirPlay to turn off auto whatever. Don't care about that. In a few months, I will discontinue my phone number and only use X for texts and audio/video calls. That is huge news. With the Starlink constellation, Elon will be able to communicate from anywhere on Earth without paying an internet provider. He is the internet provider. He is that person for many things. So that's huge news, because not only will he be able to do that, but anyone will be able to do that, especially if you have Starlink that can link directly to your phones. He's probably has Starlink Ultra Premium and access to it literally anywhere on his jets, his ships, his Teslas. He definitely has the hookup, so he's going to be able to first be able to do this. Just flat out cancel phone number. Very interesting when they say enter your phone number on this form, and people don't have phone numbers because they're only operating on X. I don't know. Is that a future? Seems pretty cool. Maybe there'll be what's your X handle? What's your Twitter name or whatever, right? WWE. WWE is going to be partnering with X. That's pretty cool. Definitely a big revenue generator. More right wing audience, I would say, and definitely more for the X crowd who wants to be exposed to the truth and obviously theatrical nonsense like this. I think that's pretty cool. More Tucker promoting his upcoming interview. Oh yeah, dude, this Disney thing, an anonymous source just sent me this from Disney. It is mandatory institutionalized racism and sexism. Look at this shit. This is wild. standard A on-screen representation. So you have your standards on the left, and then you have the criteria that you have to meet to make these standards. And then there's obviously a little bit more in the comment section on the right here about the details of all this. But to meet a standard B, one of the criteria, 50% or more of producer and above on writing staff and 50% or more of co-producers and below on writing staff come from underrepresented groups, right? And it's really funny because the caveat here is context is critical when evaluating if a group is underrepresented. If anyone involved in hiring decision is anyone involved in hiring decision is prohibited from asking candidates and talent about their actual perceived race, religion, color, orientation, gender identity, military, veteran status, age, disability, or any other legally protected categories. These are legally protected categories, yet they are telling their hiring staff and their creative staff they have to meet certain criteria to meet certain standards, which are illegal. Yet you have to do that to meet these standards. It's like, Bob Iger not Bob Iger. Well, fuck Bob Iger at this point. But Walt Disney, R.I.P. man, rolling in his grave right now. Get this man a drill so he can get out of that coffin. Damn. But wait, there's more. Partnership with NASA. That sounds pretty cool. Something like that. More SpaceX Falcon 9 launches. Awesome. Oh, yeah. And then the whole fucking thing about Biden's administration taking away, what is it, like an $800 million or $1 billion contract to for Starlink to provide internet for X amount of people over however many times it's going to cost. For example, it would be like $1,200 to provide internet for each American using the new Starlink constellation. Oh, but Elon's too powerful. He needs looking into. So they claw back this contract, and then now it's going to cost them like $5,000 and like 4 times the amount of time just to get internet to some of these people. It's ridiculous. These fucking people are ridiculous. All right. So then I guess this is getting a little lengthy, but we'll close out here with the Apple headset. This is so cool. People are making these awesome videos with it. It's definitely like an iPad moment where it's like a cool new thing. People don't really know how it's going to be used, but people know that it will be used. Like a ton of functionality. I just heard David Friedberg on episode 165 of All In, dropped a couple hours ago today, I guess. He wasn't in the last week episode. Maybe he was in the Appleverse, let's call it. But he was in his one of his companies, and his employee was doing taking stock and inventorying something, and they had their phone, they had a scanner, they had a notepad, yada yada yada, and he was just saying, well, I was just using the Apple Headset Pro for X amount of time, and based off the capabilities that it's demonstrated, I can have this scanner built into the camera. I can have all my notes over here. I can have my checklist here. I can have this thing over here. So it consolidates all the hardware, and then it automates tasks. So, once the business applications start flooding into this thing, Apple's going to have a new, deca-billion-dollar product line under the belt within a couple years. And $3,500, the addressable market for that, they have 200,000 pre-orders for something that costs $3,500. I don't know what the price elasticity of the demand is for AR VR headsets, but Oculus is selling somewhere in the line of 3 to 4 million units or something like this, and they are a 6th or 7th of the price, I believe. So what happens when Apple, granted Apple's premium, they're not going to get below probably $1,000 or $1,500 for this headset anytime soon. But let's say, it every time the price goes down $500, the market doubles, maybe. Anyway, to get to that, there was a rough calculation that Friedberg did. To get to around $100 billion revenue at a $3,500 price point, you're going to have to sell about 30 million units. I don't think they're going to have demand for 30 million units at $3,500. That's why it's going to come down. And granted, this is V1. It's a prototype. Apple Vision Pro looks fucking sweet. I definitely won't be able to afford it. My brother probably will. We'll see if he gets it. It's a cool new toy. We'll see where it goes. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and the notification bell. If I am not lazy enough to put the links in the chat and you want to start trading, open up a Robinhood account. They're not that bad. They're very simple for very simple things. I can make a lot of money, and so can you. Not financial advice. Webull, also great. M1 Finance, try to put the link in there. Gotta get my standard shit in there. And yeah, Dr. Squatch. I don't know. I gotta put some effort into that too. To be continued. This has been Fernando. This has been Fernando on Financial Firefly. I'll catch you later. Peace.